Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is workshop number 7. Jessica says this is how she feels every day. If you do, you love it. If you don't relate, you need to shut your computer now. All right?
It's a Victor Miller. They give it out in shul. Do you guys get it?
Yes, but not like this.
Oh.
This is really cute. Not like this.
No, because the topic is humility.
Right.
You're an only child.
Oh, how cute. But I want you to know that, right? Could you show it around? So
This is how I feel.
every day. The only thing that I don't like, the only thing I would like to change in the picture is how the mother feels about how she feels. Should I say it again?
Yeah.
The only thing I want to change in that picture is how this mommy feels about how she feels. I feel like a queen in that. You know what goes on now in my house? I love it. It's like my husband and I are on the phone talking to the married kids and the grandkids. They keep calling, and then one is in the supermarket and she found something she wants to know about, and then the other, I love it. And then he is like, something spilled on my pants, and then she is like talking about her play that she had today. They had to wear white shirts, like 5th grade girls in white shirts. It's not a good idea. But anyway, it was awful. The blue tucked in, it was awkward age, Haidina. And then she had a massive nosebleed on the shirt, and like 500, and there was a huge, you saw the crowd, Ariella, in the recording? A big, like 4 grades of at least, they were all on stage, but the girls were all together. At least 100 girls, 5th graders. And that's all I want is my response. I actually felt really sick about it. I left nauseous, because I was going from her to performance to my Chaydina, my Brindis performance. My daughter, my married daughter, she's a Mora, 5th grade Mora, Hebrew Mora, and she put on this beautiful performance. So we took car service from one performance to the other, and I couldn't help her clean her white shirt. But the Mora said she would do, but she was crying and crying. And I think that's a great way to start this class. More and more I recognize that when my kids fight, it causes me so much anguish. I think it's just very painful when kids fight. It's a reminder we should all share our phone.
I think that's the biggest struggle for me. Over everything in the world.
It's so painful when the kids fight. It's very, very, it's a painful experience. They're hurting each other. I love them. It's so hard. It makes me feel like I'm doing something very wrong. Better?
I want to make sure it's recorded. It is.
Really, 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 I want you to know that when kids are in trauma, they don't fight. Yes, when God forbid somebody is diagnosed, the big one will take care of the little one. It's horrible. They'll go. It's a good sign. It's a sign that we're not in trouble if the kids are fighting. If that we're in thrival mode, we're not surviving. It's a healthy sign if kids fight. And the only thing I love that picture because Jessica, it's like shows you like how overwhelmed she is and how like I'm doing something wrong and this is too much. And some of you are more sensory than others. Some of you, it's a lot. And I feel like as mommies, we stretch and we're just like, this is it. It's glorious. You know, I started doing yoga stretches. I was telling them here, like, I suddenly go and do it anyway. I just learned to do a back bend. Did I tell you that I can do a back bend now? I love it. Like I just like, and isn't this beautiful? And when they're little, I sing the song, I Wish I Was an Octopus. You know that song, I Wish I Was an Octopus? Yeah. Then if I had 8 hands, I would do this and I would do that and do that. And it's overwhelming and it's safe and it's really okay. I want you to know that social skills are learned from modeling. Your children fight. It could be the way that you and your husband fight. Not for sure, but social skills are learned by modeling. Okay, because a very deep level, not in your house, huh?
It could be the way that you fight with your man.
The way that you fight with your husband.
It could also be, let's say, my husband's not home a lot, so he's not witnessing or he's not impacted.
It's so, you know,
It's more like
when you have a second marriage, you learn so much because as couples, we really dance together. We don't even recognize how much, like, the kid says something and then like he doesn't want to let it go, and then you want to let it go. Like, there's so many layers of what you figured out. And then if you start again, that you realize like how much you figured out with the other husband and how much you're going to kind of vent to each other. But children learn skills on how to cope with another person from you and your husband, what they see and what they don't see, and what you say and what you don't say. So I find that if you find this inspiring or empowering, go with it. And if not, let it go. If it just makes you feel more guilty. But like, I'm curious what my kids are seeing when they're learning this. They pick it up a lot.
Question.
Yes.
What if they realize that we're always on the same page and makes them mad? Like my son is like, I know you're just gonna agree with what daddy says, so I'm not even gonna talk to you about it. Like,
Okay, because tell him it's not about agreeing, about disagreeing. I want to hear how you feel. You feel hurt, you feel mad, you feel disappointed, you're upset, you wanted to go, daddy doesn't let you go. I'm your mother, I love you. I want to be there with you. And he's gonna say, no, I just want you to tell daddy that he should let me go. And you should say, that's not my job. And it is not your job. You can give him some skills on how he should talk to daddy. And he should explain to his father how he feels. Maybe he'll change his mind. Don't become like the negotiating party between him and your husband.
he doesn't even try with me anymore because he's like, you're gonna agree with daddy.
Do you? No, tell him, I don't agree with daddy, but I'm supporting him and I'm supporting you. You guys have to figure this out. It's like you want to develop this trust that Hashem gave your kid this father. Again, if something crazy is going on, but most of the time it's not crazy things that they, so
Yeah, it's like silly stuff.
let's say that he wants to go pray in one shul and your husband wants to go to another one. It's much more important for your son to feel that you and daddy are on the same page. You don't even know what you're giving him. You're giving him a rock, a wall, something to lean on. Remember I showed you that triangle last class?
Wait, I have a
Yes.
question. So if your husband prays in one place, you should pray there too?
That's not what I said. I'm speaking about a kid that's having a hard time with a place that he's having an argument, a manly argument with your husband. Like it's about men stuff. And you don't get involved. You just support it. Should you pray where your husband prays? Well, I don't know where your husband prays. So maybe I'm like jumping into something, but on the whole, definitely yes.
But I just go where they have children's
I
programs.
think it's different in our community.
It's different, right. It's different. It could be it's more of a social thing. I just think that the kids get like an extra level of something very attaching, because praying is about connecting and family is about connecting. And if I'm upstairs in the women's section and my husband's downstairs with the men, and I just feel like it gives the kids like the extra boost of attachments that they really, really, really need.
I feel like they don't appreciate children making noise.
You know, but this is off topic, but I'm gonna stay to my topic just a minute. It's off topic, but I want you to know that I tell the elderly people in the shul something very, very, very powerful. Listen, guys, I don't know how much longer you're gonna be here, but the kids are gonna be the next one in the shul, I hope. What's gonna be when you're out of here? Like, if anyone has to leave, it should be you, not them. I mean, children, I believe they belong in shul. Now, again, if your rabbi doesn't want, I'm not getting involved at all. What, really?
Yeah, I don't think you can say that.
I actually say that in Bar Park. I don't know about Great Neck, but I know about Bar Park. We actually designed the shul, where my late husband and I used to daven, with like 3 sections on top, one for the mothers and the kids. It was soundproof, you can't hear down. And then one for the grandmas that don't want anybody, like they get like annoyed if somebody makes a noise, so they go down on that side. And the other side is for the mother with big kids, like with older kids, but like the breastfeeding babies and like the toddlers, they go in the middle, because I really hope like in 20 years from now, this is gonna be a new congregation. So, and I would like for them to be there. So while I can still take them, But I don't know if it's a typical opinion. It's just, it's a very strong opinion. I used to walk to shul with the kids for a keser at the end, stay for like 10 minutes, then they would dance with the rabbi and get a piece of cake by the kiddush, and we would go home. But I really hope I gave them something very, this is where we belong. That's the Torah. That's our Kodesh. We're so lucky we're from, like, just very strong basics. I do it from like 2 weeks old. Because I don't know how long I have to stay. By the time they're like 6, it's over, right? So I just tried to, as long as, that, I'll just tell you one beautiful thing, that my son Nehemiah got to daven in shul with his father. His father passed away when he was 5. And from the age of 2.5, he was taken to shul every Shabbos. And I'm so happy he had that. That was something new that we had done. But he has a lifetime of memories of sitting on his father's lap in shul and davening with him. So I'm so happy that he had that. Okay, so when the kids are fighting, our entire bodies tend to get completely like wrapped up and pulled in it, and you want to like hurt somebody. I go into my room a lot when they fight because I want to hurt somebody. He's slapping and she's slapping, and I want to slap everybody to protect them from what? How many times at the end of the fight are they like all running away from me? Like I became the biggest monster in the fight. That's because I'm a really good, healthy mother that loves my kids. And like, imagine if some big guy would come in the house and start hitting my kids. I would do something about it. Like the adrenals just go off. That's really what this is about. But remember the triangle from last week? It's here in your book. I'm so excited. Rescuer, bully, victim. I don't want to get stuck in this triangle with the kids. I told you last week, anybody in this triangle will be all 3. It's so funny. My daughter will tell her stepfather, she's your daughter. Do something about this. Will you do something like rescue me? You can see her, right? I'm the victim here. Save me from her. And we don't want to rescue our children. We want to teach them how to rescue themselves.
You can't tell like the other kids stop doing that, like leave them alone.
Okay, so if that's the worst thing that you do when they fight, it's amazing. But it's not, if you want to teach a skill, stop doing that. It's not a skill. I want them to say, you need to stop doing that to me.
Oh, you want to teach the other kid how to protect himself, basically. Like,
Yes,
okay.
yes. Ideally, we don't want to rescue our children. We want to empower them to rescue themselves, even in school. If the Rebbe is really doing something not right, I would much rather that my son go in the next day and say, yesterday I was really sad. I feel embarrassed when the Rebbe says I'm fat. That would be 1,000 times better than anything that I could ever do. I'm not telling you, I might go behind the Rebbe, the kid's back when they don't know about it and call the teacher and say, I don't want my son to know that I'm calling. I asked him to discuss it with you, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. He came home really upset about what happened. Could you discuss it with him?
We shouldn't do that.
I do that, but I don't want the kid to know necessarily. I always have one mother in the class that will say, I was picked on, and my mother never told me that she was sticking up for me, and it really bothers me. So sometimes the kid like wants to feel like someone's taking care of them, but on a whole, I think.
What do you do between a scenario of a 4-year-old like fathering, pushing
Right.
the limits with like a 2-year-old? Do you just remove the 2-year-old because they don't know how to defend themselves yet?
Good.
Or that is what you recommend?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you in a minute. First, I just want to ask myself, okay, how can I stop rescuing my kids? How can I empower? Like, how can I react to the kid that's being the bully? How can I empower the victim? Most of what I do is empower the victim. Because if you can stop it somewhere, that's a great way. I'm going to stop rescuing and I'm going to start empowering the victim. Both of those things really, really help. What happens if I'm sitting at the supper table and I see in front of my face 2 kids are fighting? This is not, you're in bed and you hear the noise downstairs. They don't know that. The kids sit in front of you. One kid is getting ready to sit down. The other kid pulls away the chair. Anyone know what I'm talking about? And boom, the kid's on the floor. And I'm sitting there. So a lot of mothers say, I hear people say this, kids only fight for attention from a parent, ignore it. Any of you do that?
No, I don't think they do that. I think they just.
No, some people have said that.
People say just ignore it.
Yeah.
So it's not my opinion, because if you're quiet and you're watching, you're the silent, you're the one that's like a signature, like a cosigner on the abuse. You watched it. If the kid, you're in the bathroom, the kids think you don't see, that's a different story. If you're there and you see it, I want to label the behavior. I really want the kids to see that they see this.
So how would you label something like that, what you just described at the table?
We don't hurt. It's not okay. Remember how I said the rules? No shaming, no threatening. What else?
No questions.
No questions. Good. Why did you just, right? So I'll just,
That's what I always do, but then you said don't do that, right?
go, right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to label the behavior. I'm very confused by these notes. Excuse me 1 second, because I want to go according to this, not according to what I have here. Right, good. You know, you're so fat, and I say no shaming. I label the behavior.
Can you say no manipulating, or is that like too intense of a word? I have one kid that's like a total manipulator.
You want him to give you your toy. We have to ask nicely. Say what you want him to do. Give it.
Like ignore you, like they're like, but he did this.
I know, I understand. If you want him to give it to you, you need to ask him. Strong from a core.
So you're giving the tools to the manipulator to like correct their behavior.
Skills.
And then
That would be the, yeah. You know, when you say manipulation, it has a very negative connotation.
Yeah.
Really, right now, as we're all sitting here, you're manipulating me to speak and I'm manipulating you to pain. Is that manipulation? No. As soon as a baby is born, they cry and they're really cute and they're manipulating you to feed them. So I don't like the word manipulation because it makes it sound like a bad thing. And if you can say it nicely, then it's not manipulation. Please, can I have from your snack? That's not manipulation.
Right.
Of course it is.
We said like no shaming, only compliments.
Good, perfect.
Or
Right?
no shaming, only compliments. Like would we give them the tool after labeling the interaction?
You're so fat, and I'll say, I know you're upset. Say what you need.
Right.
Because right now, it's not about giving a compliment. It's about the why.
But what if
There's
you don't-
one dumb seat on the couch. That's the crack in the corner. It's an L-shaped couch. You want the corner seat. I get it. You can't say you're an idiot. You have to say, please, can I have the seat? You had it. Just say what you want. And this is, by the way, life skills. Most adults don't know how to ask for what they need. If I'm sitting at the table and they're like, and she'll grab all the cookies and I'm like, give it back to her. We don't grab, you always take everything. And she's like, oh no, I try not to become the judge. It's extremely, extremely hard. Not like, because a lot of times, are you very confused at the end of the fight who's right?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes it's clear who's right.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Right? When I'm confused and I'm trying to get into it, I'll just say, she has the corner of the couch, you want it. What are we gonna do about this? We need a solution. Name calling is not a solution. We do not hit, no hands, it's not a solution. What's the solution? What happens when you don't get what you want? How can you handle it better? Sometimes, I have here, sometimes a parent must intervene. Sometimes you have one kid that's verbally so skilled and the other one is not. And you can really watch them destroy it. I just had this now with one kid. And I promised her, like, we're going to American Dream. And like, here's what I need from you. I need to know that even though you want to put him down, you're not putting him down. If you can't get what you want nicely, then you can't have it. That's it. It's okay. And she stopped. I couldn't believe it. She really stopped. Yes,
Can you go back to the scenario with the plate of cookies? You took all the cookies. How are you gonna address that?
right, so number one is, right, what are you doing? And I'll say, please put the cookies back in the middle of the table.
Okay.
She took please put the cookies back in the middle. She had all the cookies yesterday. I want all the cookies today. And I'll say, everybody gets 2 cookies. I don't go into this like she, none of this, like, it's not your business what she does. Talk very little. I try to keep it as clear as possible. I say, everybody can have 2 cookies. She had a whole plate yesterday. Did you have a whole plate yesterday? No, I'm so proud of you. Good. Let's focus on you. They get very angry. Like they made that face, like so frustrated. I say, no, everybody has to keep an eye. She also had 10, I also want 10. I'll just say everybody can have 2. But did you? No, great. Now I'm talking about you. We don't talk about other people. Everybody that follows instructions is going to be happy. You had 2 today, good. You're going to be happy. Oh no, I want more. It's not fair. It's a very interesting concept. You do this all the time. You keep your eyes on your own plate.
What do you say when a kid says not fair? What's a good thing to say?
I say it's
feel
not
like-
fair, it's even. It's not even, but it's fair.
Like a 4-year, like, I feel like
Little
very
ones.
Little ones, like 4-year-old or 5-year-old, it's very hard for them to understand why she got to have the extra cookie and he like, focus on yourself doesn't really.
I want to tell you something. I see all the homes on this block. Some of them are fancier than others, right? Some of you have full-time help. Some of you have no help. I don't know. Some of you are wearing, everyone, it's not fair. It's a very hard concept, but the quicker we get used to this, the better. It's not fair. It's not even, but it is fair. Hashem gives everybody but what they need. It's okay if a child has a hard time wrapping their brain around it, but it's not okay if an adult tries to cater to this.
They'll never be happy.
And no, it doesn't work. Yes,
For my older kids,
Yes.
they say, that's what Korach said. That's exactly what Korach said. It's not fair.
so what you can
I say
say,
that, they just shouldn't.
they say, I'm correct, right? But then they say, okay.
Life's not fair.
I just say it's so hard. I want you to know, Sheffield, life is not even, but it's fair because Hashem gives everybody what they need. It's tough. It's really, really, really tough. I understand. You hear how much I'm empathizing? A lot of empathy. You love the couch. You want to sit here all the time. I know it's tough. Either you guys figure it out on the couch or everyone's coming to the table. That's it. I say, you say that she's sitting on the couch the whole night. You say she's sitting on the couch the whole night. I wonder what's the solution. We have to figure this out. What's the
Well,
solution?
let's take that example with the couch. So let's say they'll say, could I return in 10 minutes when you're, no, I got here first, no. And then like they're saying what they want.
So then I'll just say, okay, guys, if you can't figure it out, the couch is getting punished. I love to put the couch in timeout. You can put the game in timeout. I put
How would you put a couch in
the couch, no one can sit on it. That's it. No one can sit on it. If you can't figure it out, then the magazine gets punished. Timeout for the magazine. Apples to apple is not working out. We put it away. That's it. And I said, I know you guys can figure this out. Some kids need more help than others figuring it out. But I know that you can figure this out. I find that when we do this too much, sometimes kids don't tell out really important stuff. So what's the rule about telling out? If it's dangerous, right?
What is telling you?
Like telling them another kid.
Oh.
Right.
I mean, I feel like it's a natural thing.
It actually drives me batty. Mommy, I'm in the room, right? And the kid will say, Mommy, I see his Nagelwasser is still by his bed. He didn't wash Nagelwasser. Are you kidding? What does that have to do with you? I get so upset. And I said, did you wash Nagelwasser? Yes, good. I'm so happy you're telling me.
Do you ever say that's Lashon Hara? Like, don't-
So when is it Lashon Hara? Is it dangerous? I asked the kids, is it safe? Yeah, okay, good. And don't tell me.
Right, but would
if
you
so-
say, like, would you tell them you're doing Lashon Hara, like, don't do Lashon
I'll just say, if it's dangerous, then it's not Lashon Hara. If you're being hurt, physically or emotionally, then it's not Lashon Hara. So then the kids will say, Mommy, she's taking your lipstick and putting it all over the wall. And I'll say, are you putting lipstick on the wall? No,
But
wait.
I would like to be told about that one.
So then we have to really figure out if we do or
Tell me
don't,
that one.
right? So then we have to figure out if we do or we don't want to report newspaper reporters in the house. Yeah, are you doing that? No, good, I'm so proud of you. Next, I ignore it, and then I wait a little bit, and then I run go check. I don't want newspaper reporters in my house. It's Lashon Hara. We're not allowed to talk about other people. Mommy, it's like, I say no triangling, like, I talk to you about you. If I like what you're wearing, I don't tell her, I tell you, because then it's a triangle, right? We talk directly to the other person. Say, you know, someone forgot to flush. I'll say, was it you? No, great. I'm so happy. I like to talk to you about you. How are you doing today? It's so interesting that I realize the kids want attention, and that's how they try to get attention that way. And I really try not to give it to them. The thing I try most, I don't want to be a rescuer. I do not want to become part of the fight. I usually do, by the way. If I'm not conscious, I am fighting with the kids. Anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The negotiator. It's like.
Right, or the negotiator.
It's horrible.
But it's kind of natural. You know, many times I will walk into a situation. This is new, by the way. It's not even know because it's new. I walk into a situation. I honestly have no clue what's going on. These kids are loaded with emotions. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I'll just say, give her the book. Thank you. I had it first. She had it first. I said, it's so tough. Now, it's not fair. I said, no, I want you to get the book. It's hard. It's safe. You'll be okay. That's it. You always stick up for her. You never stick up for me. Say, right now, Mamala, please give her the book. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I know it's not easy. Sometimes you can just guess and go with it. That's it. It has to stop. I have zero tolerance for bullying in the house. If you say fat, or you say brat, or you say lazy, you know Devorah Halal lady? Yeah, you guys know her? She's really cute lady, 5. She had like a hard time having children. Then she had 5 girls in 5 years. Can you imagine 5 girls in 5 years? The girls, they all took my parenting classes, like at one shot. They all came together. It was really funny. And they said my mother, this Hungarian grandmother, had the big sign on her fridge, DPD, don't put down. He said, no matter what was going on, if she was around and you said to someone, you're kidding, are you serious? You would get your arm on her shoulder and she would take you to the fridge and say, read the sign, don't put down. No, zero tolerance. We don't put people down in this house. You really, if it's not kind, it's not kosher. It's treif, mamala. Like, if you can't get what you want, and you without saying it nasty, then you can't have it. If you're gonna have to put somebody down to get what you want, that means Hashem doesn't want you to have it. You're gonna be okay. It's a really good reminder for all of us, by the way. Like the neighbor is just doing something that's making you nuts. You try everything, it's not working. Then maybe Hashem doesn't want you to have it.
How do you explain that to a child?
What if there's just jealousy between siblings and like one of them likes to like
Right.
dig a little?
And if they can't dig, if they don't get a response from you, from them, they'll do it till they get a response from you. Yeah. So the kids like this, it's like cigarette smoke, I always say. Like you pick up a mommy, you do this, you light her till she smokes. Then when smoke comes out, you get this relief. And I just don't want them to get smoke from me. That's it.
So if I'm interfering though, then I'm smoking it.
No, I'll show you
I
how.
want them to say those things, but
I like to focus on the way I'm treating my children, and then I just say what I need. Now, the next page is all the examples. Okay. One mother told me she walked into the house, and on the dining room table, they were on the table. The table was shaking. One boy was beating up the other one, and she started screaming, "Under my shako, there are white hairs. You know how I feel?" No, that's not what I want to do, right? Instead, I just say, from my core, this is not okay. No hands, no feet. We need to speak with our mouth. Let's start it over. Let's start over. We need to redo this. I really bribe my children to redo it. I'll speak about it soon. Okay, so this is what happened. You came into the dining room, she's coloring on your arts and crafts. So you beat her up. Okay, good. So could we do different next time? Yeah, I'm gonna beat her until she's so petrified, she's never gonna color again. I said, does that work? No. It doesn't work. What'd you say?
No, I was asking her which of her kids beat somebody up.
No one beats anyone up here, right?
Not my responsibility.
They kill each other, right? That's how it goes. So I say no hands and no feet. We speak with our mouth, not with our bodies. We need to redo this. You watch the kids asking each other questions. Why are you sitting on my bed? Did you just touch my prizes? Why are you still on the phone? And I said, we don't ask questions. We sit, he's sitting on your bed. That is not okay. It's your bed. Don't ask questions. Say what you need. Please go off my bed. I need a term for the phone. Please don't touch my cell. This is like a redo of the parenting. It sounds familiar. We just did this for ourselves, right?
It really is such a healthy way to raise your kids with this concept of like speaking so directly with no fluff.
Yes,
Because then they're gonna be such healthy communicators, God willing, with like their
Yes.
spouses and.
right. That's what I always tell them. It's
Because
the
a lot of
best
times you
trick.
wanna, like hint it, but it would make your life so much easier if you would just tell.
Why
your
with a spouse
that-
don't we want to do this?
Why do we not?
It's so funny. I really want to go away. I hope I'm taking a week. We're gonna take a break. I hope. I think so, like in 2 weeks. I'm working on it. I don't know if it's gonna happen. But I really need him to say, like, honey, you need a break. You can't have the cold. I took tickets. We're going. Okay. I tried that. I'm not waiting for that to happen again.
So tell him you want. that.
I tell him I
Say,
want
"Can you
it.
Say that.
I'm like, first I'm like, right. I'll say, could you tell me that?
Yeah, I would
right.
say that. Like, can you say that?
Yes. Right.
Surprise them with a gift.
But then like, not only that, but then
You're such a great husband. I wanted to do a gift. Let's go away. This
Right.
is what my husband does all the time.
that's right.
Let's go to Miami. I booked us a ticket, got all the kids,
Right.
babysitters.
So, but then he says, I don't know if I can find a substitute. And I'm like, that's how much he cares about me. But I just said, it's in the winter, like this new wife. In the winter, she has to go away somewhere warm. That's just how it goes. I don't believe it for a second. I'm lying, but I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'll let you know if it works. Could be I'm not gonna go. Let's see. But I'm trying. Let's see.
Even for the weekend.
Let's see. Anyways, but there's a lot of technical things I have to get figured out, but let's see. And I finally figured it out, and now the place I wanted to go, they're all booked. They didn't save a place for me, but we're gonna see. But that communication of just like, can you take me away? I really need the vacation. I really feel like I don't deserve it. Just tell me I deserve it. And like, if you tell me that you have something else, I feel like I don't deserve it. But I'm gonna work on that, because that's not what you mean. You just mean that you have a hard time finding a substitute. You're teaching, you're a Rebbe. It's hard. I really appreciate it. Just like saying what you want, and then when you get what you want, like putting it inside and appreciating it and thank you. And not that he mean it, didn't he mean it? This is amazing communication. I'm not going outside unless she changes her clothes. Any of your kids do that? I don't like what the other kids wearing. We're not going out. No? But very Barbara. She's not, I don't like what I'm embarrassed what my sister's wearing, and we're not going anywhere. And I'll just say, we don't threaten. Tell me what you need. I want her to change her clothes. I don't want to go out with her. It's
What if
really,
they don't wanna go with what you're telling them to wear?
why not?
I wanna wear slides while it's snowing outside.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
I'm more comfortable.
Right. They want to wear the things with the holes. What are they, like the slippers, the
Yeah,
Crocs?
that's it.
They want to wear Crocs, right? So no, then I'll just say as soon as you put on your boots, we can go. I know it's tough. But
So
that's,
I don't wanna go.
And they're
and
very happy to not go to school.
Yeah.
then don't do that. Then don't do that, right? But here I want to do this one, where I don't want them threatening each other. I just say it's not, don't threaten. It's not okay. If you don't share your snack, you can't play. You see kids doing that? You have to give me all your cards or you can't come with us. So, and I'll just say we don't threaten. It's not okay. The more gentle you say it, we get so angry. the more gentle we are, the clearer they're gonna hear. It sounds like you really want all her cards. I know they're her cards. We don't threaten. You can ask for what you want. We don't threaten. You're such a fatso. This I find harder because you see, she was trying to like figure out, she was saying, don't shame, instead give a compliment. But that's not what's going on right now. She's shaming because why? It's right. Let's say she wants something, or they'll like, give it to me. It's mine. No, it's mine. I ate it first. No, okay, idiot, here you go, throw, and they'll give it. And like, we don't use bad language. That's bad language. We do not talk like that. It's not an option. And I'll say it's hard not to get what you want. Yes.
Maybe it's just my kids, so this is embarrassing if that's the case, but like, I feel like a lot of kids these days threaten back.
Right.
So, like, I have tried the approach of saying very directly, no feet, no hands, no fighting.
Right.
And then, or you have to wear your boots when you go outside, and they're like, you wear your boots, how come you're wearing this? Like, it's rude, like they're being rude back.
Right, good, right.
You-
Or let's say I'll say, we don't drink from a bottle. I'm like, really, you do?
Yeah, you do it, I saw you doing it.
Right.
Then
So-
I'm not coming, like,
so-
answer me back.
So really, 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 I try to stay on track. I'm gonna do this next week, much more. Really, really, I'll just say, I don't even hear it. I'll say, let's do it this one, right? You're such a brat. Fine, baby. Okay, and I'll say, I know it's hard. We don't shame. Give it to her nicely. Really? We don't shame? Yesterday I heard you telling daddy. Okay, and I'll just be like, sweetheart, we don't shame. I know you can do this. And I keep going. Just by the way, it's better if you're teaching the kids not to drink from a soda bottle, that you shouldn't be drinking from one either. But that's off topic right now. That's not what we're doing right now.
Is it okay to say like I made a mistake?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that?
No,
You shouldn't say
we'll
that.
talk about it at a different time.
Really?
I said a whole apology, like, oh, you're right.
No,
Sometimes I say, oh, you're right. Thank you for reminding me that
I really try
Wow.
to get an interaction. First of all, children al pi halacha are not allowed to correct the parent.
Right.
We don't correct the parent. And I'm doing such, like, the parenting I'm doing is so not authoritative, but we need to stay in authority. Like, you don't correct the parent. That's not what we're talking about right now. Now we're talking about the fact that you cannot drink from a soda bottle. We don't threaten. And they're like, but you do. And I'll say, sweetheart, you never threaten. I know you can do this. And then just keep moving on.
And give them a victory, right? You can add victory to it.
Yes, good, right. I know you can be a gibar or good.
Wow, good job.
What? Do you know the girls go on and on? The boys beat up and the girls go on and on and on and on. And they're so angry and like, you always do this. And whenever my friends come, you're gonna stay in your room. You're the most embarrassing thing ever. Why do I have to have sisters? And then I'll just say, it sounds like you're really upset. No speeches. We're gonna talk about this later. You're gonna be okay. Or I know you can have a victory. Don't talk about the past. You always do this last weekend. And I'll just say, we don't talk about the past. Tell me what you need now. By the way, this is the most adorable marriage counseling. Went to marriage counseling, took this workshop. It was so cute. She was describing to me how this is what she does in counseling with couples. And then she does this thing with the carrot that I love. You know about the carrot, Mike? So only the kid that has the carrot can talk. So otherwise everyone talks over each other. And the one that has the carrot speaks. And she'll say like, you always sit on the couch and I can never. Or you eat up all the good snacks and I'm left with the ones that are no good. And everybody has to be quiet. And only the kid with the big carrot can talk. And then when you're done, the other kid gets the carrot and she has to repeat what the first kid said. It's torture. So, right? And she'll say, so she says that that she's saying that she never gets to sit on the couch because she always comes up from school too late and I'm already always sitting there. Or she says that, and then the other one can say, by the way, most adults cannot do this. If you're making noises, it means that you cannot be quiet long enough to listen to somebody else. And then before you say what you want to say, you first repeat what the other person said. I do it by the Shabbos Sudola because carrots aren't muksa. So you can use them for a mic. Is that cute?
So let's say you don't have a carrot, and My kids always talk over each other.
Yeah.
One's in the middle of the story and the other one comes
Good.
out, but you know what happened to me, mommy? Blah, 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 blah."
You know what we do? I do it next, I'll do it again next week. We squeeze hands. I love it. When you squeeze, it's very annoying, by the way. People stop me on the street all the time. My kids get super upset. It's very embarrassing. Like, I'm going for an outing with my mother right now. Please don't talk to her. And it's like, I have this little deal. You squeeze my hand. Right? So they're all coming like, hello. I'm holding two kids' hands and listening to the third one. And they squeezing and I'm squeezing back. Oh,
So what does that show?
And I show them,
Attention to that?
I know you're here, you'll be next. And I show them, it says like this. Can I tell you something? I'm like, I'll be with you as soon as I can. I know you're waiting. And we have even like code squeezes, very cute.
Like Morse code.
I love you. I love you is 1, 2, 3. I love you too is 1, 2, 3, 4. We have like a little tricks that we do.
So squeeze the hand of the child who wants to talk, not the one who's in the middle.
Yes, it's hard to wait, by the way, but it's the best thing in the world for kids to learn that they are not the only person on this earth. It's a gift and a miracle. And if you have only children, it's really hard.
Are you explaining to them what you're doing?
Oh, for sure, I tell them. When everybody comes home, everyone wants to talk to me at once. Or when I'm on the street and I squeeze you, and the squeeze means I know. I show them, it goes like right here. Like, Nechemila wants to tell mommy something. As soon as I can, I'll be with you. And I squeeze back. That means I'm going to be with you soon. And they learn that they're not Yertle the turtle, the king of the mud. You know that book? Yertle the turtle, the king of the mud. It's a Dr. Seuss book. It's one of my favorites. He's Yertle and he's a turtle and he's a king of the mud. He's the only one. Everybody has to go underneath him. And then he's the one on top of all the turtles. And then the bottom one burps and everybody falls. It's a great book. Because the whole pile falls down. He's Yertle the turtle, the king of the mud. I don't want to be the king of the mud. Everybody has to have a turn. You're not the only person on this earth. Somebody else also exists. So it's good for them, even if it's hard. The victim, you ready for the victim? I show the victim not to squeak. It's very cute where the kids will go, "Ah!" And I'll say, honey, I want to hear what you're saying. Say it from your core. And we practice. I actually just started Chaydina on voice lessons because the voice lessons gives them that core in a very strong way. They sing, oh, they do all these exercises to get down here. You actually watch them go down, 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 down. They do it for a lot of teachers. They get voice lessons. We should all go for voice lessons. So you're talking from a strong place. I teach the kids how to say, like, it's mine, give it to me. Blah, 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 blah. And I'll say, shh, you're right. He took away what's yours. Let's speak from a core, from a strong place. And the kids will also watch me say, what's going on? I'll say, mommy, okay, mommy, use your core. And I say, everybody needs to move away. I show them how I'm going down to my core.
That even, this applies to like veggie kids?
Yes,
Okay.
I want to hear what you have to tell me. Speak from your core. Tell me what you want. I really
What does it mean to
care.
Speak from your core, like quietly and even
Strong instead of, it's all from here. I show them like, don't touch, your shoulders are touching your ears. No one's gonna listen like that. When I go into a wedding and the dance floor is empty, I tell my children, this is called a dance floor. Soon the Kala's gonna come in with her hands like that, and she's gonna say, come dance with me. When your brother pulls your pony, he's saying, will you come dance with me? And you say, I'm not dancing. I am not. This is how I'm empowering the victim. Like, you wanna call me fat? Go right ahead. Next, you done? I don't let this. I also reward the victim. Any of you try this? Like, if you get teased, just say perl baschana. That's my name. Say perl baschana and give me the schus of being teased. I'm gonna pay you $2 a tease. By the way, I started doing this. Somebody teases you and you don't respond at all. Say thank you. $2. But and then it goes, and they have Hanukkah money and I have bank accounts. So they go from one bank account to the other, $2 deposit. And they are like, because then they're so excited. I still remember they were bullying my daughter for being chubby Friday years ago. And I said to her 10 times, they call you fat. We're going out for lunch.
Siblings or in school?
In school.
Friends.
In school. So every time the kids would say, you're so fat, I had to write it down. Suri said, my clothes are tight. Connie said, I'm fat. So she would be like, what'd you say? 1 second. And then she came and said, you're so mean that I'm never gonna get to 10 because they stopped.
So she shouldn't respond back to them when they do this?
Sometimes it is so cool to watch. There's somebody in my family, I had a simcha this week. It's really been like drinking my blood. And I just decided, I davened. I didn't even think I would see her at the simcha. I just was so warm and loving to her. I saved her a seat next to me. And I'm like, Hashem, nothing happens in this world only if you allow it. This poor woman. And I sat there next to her, I said, hi, how are you? She left after 10 minutes. I think she couldn't handle that I wasn't fighting back. And that was it. I hope she's gonna stop. Sometimes the best way to deal with somebody is just to starve the behavior by not responding. No response is most probably the best response. There's something called gray rocking. Anyone heard of this? Like how you deal with people that are really bullies? Oh, I'm so bad. They have this website. It's like great, like I'm like gray rocking. I don't respond to what you're saying. You can do whatever you need to. But like, that's interesting. You know, you're being really difficult tonight. That's interesting. I'm gonna think about it. You know, you think I should make chicken soup for supper tomorrow night?
Not even being nice back.
Just not responding to the,
Indifferent. It's basically just being like, okay, that's your opinion.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm gonna think about it.
You're fat. Thank you.
Yeah, but even when you were hurt now when you said that, thank you. It's like, right, you just said like, oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna think about it. Yeah, thank you. Like,
Can
just
you
like,
brush it off with a joke? Can you be like, more to love?
yeah, go right. Like that. Yeah, sometimes. You know, I also find that for different people, different things work, but they basically don't get the shoulder down. I don't want them getting, I don't want them getting smoke from me. We're not dancing like this. I'm unavailable for your garbage. I just have enough of my own. I have enough garbage going on in here. I'm not available for yours. That's it. Breathe in, breathe out. Don't dance.
Why don't you do that with the siblings? Like reward the victim?
I do that.
Oh,
I write it. Either you empower them to say something from their core or ignore the comment, walk away with your head up. And and I tell this because, it's not okay that she's teasing you like this. It's not okay. Let's figure out, well, we'll get her to stop. Should we say nothing? Should we repeat what they're saying? Did I tell you the story what happened? I lost a lot of weight. I wonder if I told you the story here.
Yeah.
I walked into a wedding.
No, I don't know. the story.
I walked into a wedding. Okay, I lost 100 pounds in 10 months. It's very dramatic. It's a little scary, right? You see this girl and then you see her. Yeah, I never realized I was severely allergic to carbohydrates. I dropped 100 pounds in 10 months. And after that, anyways, so I walked into a wedding. The room became quiet. It's very uncomfortable. Then some chashuv person said, don't worry, to her daughter. Don't worry, Siri. Her legs are still fat. Which happens to be true, by the way, but it's okay. So then I just looked at her, I said, Mrs. So-and-so, do you mean to say that I lost a lot of weight, but my legs are still fat? She almost died. She never, ever started off with me again. And she said, I just want to make my daughter feel better because my daughter's still fat. She just made a mess out of herself after that. But I did.
Did she not think you heard or she?
It was quite, I don't know. I was very shocking. Was I nasty to her?
No, you called her out.
I just repeated what she said many, many, many times. People get very upset when you simply, whatever gift they gave you, you simply give it back to them. You say that
But
they,
isn't that revenge? That's the show.
I didn't do it from
Wouldn't
revenge.
it be better to just stay silent? Right, I know she was coming from a sense, like a place of self-consciousness. or
I was
self-esteem.
very embarrassed and I did not know what to do. And there's a hall full of people. I was like,
But she was probably also so embarrassed.
Never.
Knowing that
only
was
when she
heard.
responded that way did I realize, it was like an automatic thing. I don't know. But if I would have burst out crying, she may have done it again.
Really?
I don't know. But this is not someone that's, when we're talking about the kids teasing each other, they're coming back after each other again and again and again and again, because it works. And I'll
But I
just
feel
say,
like you should just tell the teacher, like, you should put the child in place.
I do,
Because
I
feel
will
like-
manipulate things from and back, from behind as much as possible. I try. With the victim also, by the way, I do something called body prompting. Any of you speech therapists, you want a kid to say, right? I watch the speech therapist like that. She does it face to face.
Okay.
So I do it with my body. I get down on my knees, the little ones, and I'll just, they can't see me. I get down on my knees and I'll do the size of the kid and I'll say, I had it first. Can I please have it back? And I'll just actually like show them with the body what that feels like. I'll give them a bang here. And I'll be like, that was mine. Can I please have it back? Or like, you're so fat. Like, oh no. I show them like how their body curls and what that looks like. And then I practice how they do it the other way. You're giving them tools for life. Kids that are victims can die victims. Or they're just victims. Yes.
How do you incorporate, I'm not talking about like straight up bullying or whatever, but how do you incorporate things like being like Donna Kosakut, like giving the benefit of the doubt in certain situations, like in that
Right.
situation, for example, the Chashuva person who
Right.
said what she said.
Okay, so that was, I just was showing you a skill. I'm not sure if I did the right thing. You're right.
No,
Like,
no, I'm
right,
not saying
right,
that, I'm
right.
saying like in, like.
That they should be judging, right? So let's say my son is telling, this is more for next class. My son is telling me that the Rebbe, okay, they're practicing for a play for like 3 months. They're very excited about this play. The boys are doing a performance. He is the head, he literally the hope of the first scene. He is the only actor in the first scene. He's being the cleaning lady. He's been practicing for weeks. Now they cancel the play. Nehemiah. And he's crying and crying and crying and crying. So after I work through the grief, I'll say, maybe, why do you think that, can you talk to your principal about this? Go, you call the principal. I said, maybe you can have a meeting with the principal about this. I think it's important. What can you tell the principal? What can we do about this? I'll do it like that.
But then you'll just call yourself and tell the principal, I
Yes.
want him to know. I'm
My
calling you.
son was really upset about this. I encouraged him to speak to you about it. I think it will be good for him. I'll do it like that. But also to say like, why did they do that? Could it have been another reason? After you validate, you can do that.
Right.
Yeah. But even if, let's say I am childless, chas v'shalom, and I'm your neighbor and I'm nasty every time I see your kids because I'm jealous. We still have to learn how to deal with the situation. So Dalakav's chos doesn't mean that you shouldn't be using tools. Doesn't make a difference why. And everybody always has a good reason why.
So you could teach that after, like teach
Yeah.
them the skill and then you could tell
I
them.
say, never, they're so jealous.
So talking about skills, children that are victimized are usually the ones that don't have the proper communicative function, like they don't have the words to speak.
And that's why they're the victims.
Exactly. So teaching them how to communicate.
Yes.
Is the most effective.
Here you go. I try to teach the kids how to first connect, then direct, then connect. The same way that I did with us. It's very cute. I understand that you don't like my hair, but I don't like when you talk about it because I love it like this. Or, you don't realize that it hurts so bad. Don't call me names. I don't like it. By mistake, you took my book. You need to ask before you touch my stuff. Sometimes for fun, I'll play a game with the kids. And I'll be like, okay, kids, I'm going to say something ridiculous. Let me see if you can find something to connect. It's a very cute game to play with them. And we have like another month now, like 6 weeks before Purim. Like nothing's happening. There was extra time in the calendar. You have time for this stuff. Like, okay, kids, I'm going to say, I think that everyone should wear yellow. Connect to me. And the one kid will say, yellow is a nice color. However, I don't like to wear it. Or, yeah, yellow does remind me of the sun. Or I'll say, no one should go to school. We should all be homeschooled. So one kid will say, it would be really good. This we did one something. It really would be good if we were homeschooled, because then everyone would get like a lesson on their own level. But I really like my friends. So learn how to connect, something that will connect. And then direct, don't ask me questions. Tell me what you need. Don't threaten me. I am not sharing my snack. Please don't give me a speech. I want to hear you. When you yell, I can't hear you. Don't ever call me a name. It's not okay. There's a bunch of boundaries.
This might be off topic, but I had a scenario on this past Sunday where my daughter, because it was like the last day of yeshiva break, and she was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Right.
And I should have said, oh, so your expectations for us is to do something like
Yes.
grand, right?
Yes, yes.
I said, it might not work out. So why don't you, until we figure out what we're gonna do, reach out to a friend.
Yeah.
But the one friend that she tends to lean on.
So I want to
is
first repeat this because I think
one
it's really good. This is super common for the mothers that have older kids. It's midwinter vacation and the kids have expectations. Also Sukkot, also Pesach, also Hanukkah, also midwinter. Kids have expectations to be taken like every 3 hours somewhere else,
Yeah.
somewhere really, and it's going up. So I would just say, you really want me to take you on a lot of fun places. Every vacation, we go one place.
But I was also trying to.
I know
show her
you're
that-
gonna figure it out another way.
So I kind of told her, I'm like, instead of relying, she tends to cling to always one friend.
Right,
So I told her, I'm like, because that friend is away,
good.
branch out.
Good.
So that you have multiple options.
You could,
to make-
right. So you have to use like from here, branch out, and I'll be like, you can call a lot of other girls. You'd be surprised how many girls will be so excited to hear from you. I'm excited that your best friend went away, because now you're gonna get a chance to connect to other girls, and the other girls are gonna get a chance to play with you. But mommy, we do together as a family, one really nice thing. That's it. And then I talk about buying the schus of being teased. You know, the games that we play, they have these like the soldiers in England around the British around them. I say, can we practice not responding? And I put on some march, they trip him and they burp and they, like that. And then whatever you do, I don't respond. And the kids learn not to respond. I'll tell a kid, you're short, you're tall, you have pimples. Now come look in the mirror. Did something change? Like just because somebody says something doesn't mean that it's the truth. How about this one? When kids fight, we like to tell them, see, that's what it feels like. Now don't do it to somebody else. A lot of times they're crying about the same things that they're doing. It's so frustrating. So I just say, my daughter came inside and she tells me, they won't let me play because only fourth graders. I'm going into fourth grade next week. And I say, it feels so painful when they don't include you. I know that you're going to now be careful to include everybody else. So when the kid is complaining about something, just empower them. Like, I know for sure that you're not, going to include them. I have to share something very cute. I think kids learn so much when they watch us deal with our friends. My daughter came upstairs and she was furious. She's like banging the wall. She's like, all the girls downstairs, they all just said, we're not playing outside anymore. We had enough. I was like staircase. The kids are all like, we're going inside. We're so tired. They want me to go inside. They're all back outside now. They don't want me. So it's very painful, right? So that's really, really painful. And then she tells me, why do I care? Why do I care? What do these kids know about life anyway? She's like, like this old lady. What do they know about? What do they care for? I don't care. What do they care for? And she's like, you know what, Mom? I'm going back out. And she went back down. And that's what I want. Just like process it, talk through the feelings, and go back and play. And mothers tell me, like, my kid's such an idiot. Why is she going back there? And that's because they go back again and again. Go back and figure it out. Don't let them. You keep on building it up. Conflict resolution is a very big deal. Yeah, I speak about that a lot here. You're both fighting over the bike. The bike is going to be in timeout until you can both figure it out. So the kid was like, I want the bike. I want the bike. Okay, what are we going to do about this? Let's see if you can figure it out.
So are you supposed to use the same technique of time? Like, because it's always an argument about, like, this person has a car, this person wants it.
Right.
And then you say, okay, so say it from your core, I want the bike, I want the car, and then they still don't do it.
I show the kids something else very cute. You know, you take a piece of rope and give it to all the kids to hold. You hold the other side and make a fight with them. I'm pulling and you pull. And I show them, one is something very cute. I'm holding and we're all holding. No one's pulling. They just hold. Then as soon as I start to pull it one way, they all pull it the other way. Then I pull really hard and they're pulling really hard. Then I let go. They let go. The more you want somebody to give you something, the more they're gonna hold on to it. I show them in a restaurant. Like there's only one slice left. Everybody wants it. And one lady took the course and she said to me, Perl, I'm a sales lady. We only keep one of the item in the store. And we want people fighting over it. There's 4 more downstairs. Like, you have it. And another woman said to me, you see this top? I hate it. You know why I'm wearing it? Because the woman in the store said, if you don't want it, I'm taking it. I took it home. And I don't even like it. But she wanted it. And I said, the more you cry over something, the more somebody else will want it. So crying about the car is not the solution. And there's so many different options. You can make believe you don't want it. You can set a timer. The kids do numbers in a jar. The kids do a compromise. I have the kids call it like a dot. You know, you want your kids when they're older to be able to call a rabbi or call a therapist or call and ask. So when they're little, my son, both of my twins got on the phone with their grandfather and said, Daddy, we have a problem. I want to sleep on top bunk bed. And he said, I want to sleep on top bunk bed. And the one said, I had the bunk bed last year. So, you know, I had the bottom bunk last year. He had the top bunk the whole year. This year is my turn. So my father said, 2 months for him, 1 month for you. 2 months for him, 1 month for you. And we both agreed to talk to somebody else about this. And again, if they cannot figure it out, the truck gets punished. I love that. There are so many different options. You could ever do like, just like we call it a guy roll. You write down everyone's name. The one that you get picked out gets it first. It's fine. Yeah.
However, I always notice something. The toy could be sitting there for days.
That's right.
And always one of the oldest ones gets
Yes.
the toy,
Yes.
the younger ones always want.
That's
Now
right.
all of a sudden, this toy that no one cared about, and then she's like, she tells me, she's like, listen,
Right.
I got it, no one cares, now that I have it, everyone
Now that
wants it."
I said, aren't we the same way? I'll say, you know, it's like, that's just how people are.
So
We-
is it okay to stick up for that child that, you know, like really got it first and no one else wanted to play with it? Or should you?
I want you to know that there is really no wrong or right answer. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
There, as long as you don't feel guilty that you're gypping your kids. Because what's the right answer? There is no right answer. And the kids will say, you're sticking up for her, you love her more. And I'll just say, she had it first, 10 minutes you, 10 minutes you. Not fair, why do I have to share? I said, no, it's tough. Just pick and stick. There isn't a right or a wrong with the fighting. And if she wants a truck and she doesn't get it, she's gonna be okay. It's a lifetime of not getting what you want. It's okay. We get what we need. No guilt.
You think about buying 2 of the same thing.
It doesn't help. You can buy 2 of the same thing. One of them has 2 scratches. They'll still fight over the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
What? They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. It's okay.
And our family, we dafka don't get to everything, so they learn how to share.
Yeah,
That's how it
Very
works.
strong.
yeah, for sure, I agree.
I feel like even if you buy, even if you guys are buying 2, I feel like in the end, what the one kid is like, I want 2 to play with each other, so.
Or they want to, or they want the red truck that has 4 scratches. They have the favorite truck that everybody really has. Right?
Yeah, but like a bike or a scooter, like you could get them. You both wanna go ride a bike together, no? Like-
Yeah, like some things.
I'll tell you something
not for
interesting.
sharing,
The
but-
kids need to have some stuff that's their own. Like a scooter, you can, it's very important for the kids to have something and they don't have to share it. This is mine and I don't have to share it. And after you have that, then you can give away, you can have some things that really belong to everybody. I think it's like, I don't know if we have to create a situation where kids purposely have to learn that they have to share, because they're gonna have to share everything from it. They share anyways. You get your kids all their own clothes?
They share everything in my house. Anything that comes into the house doesn't belong to anybody. It's mine. So everyone has to share it.
Could you imagine if you came home and your husband
I
said,
have to share everything with them.
Really?
I have to share my life with them. I have to share my.
what about your shaitel? Do you have a shaitel?
They take it, they take everything.
Could you imagine if you came in one day and your husband said, listen, the neighbor needs a wig. I gave her one of yours. You have to share.
But it's important,
And
giving is very important, and I want to instill that in my kids.
I want you to know that the more they have, the easier they will share.
They have a lot, like.
Do you give your kids extra snacks so they can share it with their friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that in the summertime, we can't, it's like a big thing, like, what snacks am I getting? And then she's like, mommy, you know, you send me so much that I end up sharing it, and I'm the girl with all the cool snacks. But that helps because she's generally not in school with the rest of them during
Ah.
the year, she just knows them.
But I like it. Sometimes I'll say when I buy school supplies for the kids, I say, this is yours, and these are the ones to share.
No, school supplies is something else.
Okay, good. But I want you to sharing, children do not have to share. They need to have their own stuff. And some of you, I'm talking about a lot of kids with big families, and the kids don't have a sense that anything belongs to them. And then they're holding on to everything so tight. Those are the kids with kleptomania. They're stealing, they're taking everything. They don't have anything that belongs to them. So kids have to feel like they have theirs. And then there's so many things that they have to share. And they learn that. And when you share happy, by the way, they share the best.
What's the sponge game?
I know, but it's interesting. It's in there, but I don't talk about it too much because I don't do it with my kids.
Someone asked me on Zoom.
What's the sponge game?
Yeah.
The sponge game is like this. The kids throw things. This is Miriam Anahan's favorite game. It's like this. You say fat, brat, and the kids throw ladies and you're shorty, short pants in the winter, long pants in the summer, daddy's girl. I don't know, it's just any bad name, and they throw sponges at the kid, and the kid just stands there. And they just get this practice of not responding. Some of you kids are very sensitive and they respond to everything. Get the practice to not respond so much.
Take a wet sponge and you call the kid names.
No, dry sponges, not wet ones, dry one, it doesn't hurt. The point is like to throw, so I didn't say it because some of your kids may need it, but I don't know if I would teach it anymore in class. Some of you kids just need to learn how to like, not to be so super responsive to everything that the kids say.
What do you do with the bully? Like,
I also find the kids today are much less sensitive than they used to be.
what do you do with the bully? Like, one of my sons, he could be rough with like the neighbors outside, and like he'll come home like they don't want to play. I'm like, cause you're hurting them.
Right, so they don't want,
get
right.
it. It's like, no, I'm playing. I'm like,
How
"No,
old?
you're being a little rough. You have to look where you're walking. You have to look.
Right, so I would,
5
5 or 6, so I'll say, the neighbors don't want to play with me, I'll say, oh, your dad hurts. And then
But I want to teach you, I'm like, look when you're walking, look, pay attention, don't jump on anyone.
He's a more active kid.
Yeah, there's more active, boys are active.
I'll just say, maybe you can learn, maybe we need to learn how to be more gentle. Let's try.
He's not gonna get it.
Or you could do it in like the body prompting, show him.
That's just the way he plays, He's just
Right.
like
It's like
jump
part of
and
their personality.
Yeah, it's his personality.
Sometimes the bully that's their
Yeah.
personality. It's so hard.
he likes to
work
scare, he
on
likes
that.
to jump. It's fun. It's like it's fun.
It's exciting.
Yeah. It's very
Do you
exciting.
think that if you say, you have a lot of fun, but the kids don't want to play with you like that, do you
Yeah.
think that would help him learn?
Like his teacher tells you when they come in from recess, he quickly has to grab the best chair, like pushes knocks anyone out. She's afraid that he's gonna, she's afraid that they're not gonna want to use, like, he's gonna lose out on friends.
So I would just teach this stuff gently.
Like, well, you're not gonna have friends anymore? I say,
No.
no one's gonna want to be your friend. You're like,
No, because then you're teaching him that no one's gonna want to be his friend. But I would just tell him like, you're such a fun kid, you're such a fun kid, like you should have the most friends. But think when you come in, if you're gonna grab the chair, you're gonna have the chair, but you're not gonna have friends. It's a choice.
Can you say like a story about another kid, like
Yeah.
something happened
Like
at
story.
home where I didn't want to show my son that I knew something he did
In school.
in school, yeah.
Okay.
but somebody else told me, so I said, I heard that a story about a boy who did, and I made a similar story up and such happened. And he
And
was like, really? And like he took to it. Is that okay? Or like, at
It's
some point they're
great.
smart enough to like realize you're talking about them, but like. we're
I'll-
kind
Yeah, it's all right. So if they're smart enough to know talking about them, I'd just rather talk about them directly, and I'll just say, you're such a great kid. You're so much fun. You're gonna get tons of friends. You're gonna learn how to, when to be tough and when to be soft. You can learn this.
What happens when a child says, they know they're rough, but they can't control it?
Oh,
Like,
that's,
she says, I know, but it happens. I'm like, why did you hit X? I don't know, it just happened. I just got angry and it happened.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So like, I don't know how to teach her not to be angry because I have the same problem.
I good. So I'll just, right. So just say, so what do you do when you're angry and you say something not nice? Then you go back and you say, I'm sorry. It's okay.
Okay.
They're gonna see you doing that a lot. I got angry, I lost it, I'm sorry. And then they're gonna learn how to do that. It's okay. It's okay to make a mistake.
I tell them to like take a deep breath when like
Yeah.
you wanna like punch them out,
Good.
just like deep breath.
Let her see you do that.
You know, I'm like, I don't always, I don't hurt you when you say X, Y. I don't always hurt you.
You say, I'm breathing deeply and I'm sitting on my hands.
I'm learning, you know, I'm learning
Right.
to like have quiet hands, just take a deep breath, walk away.
Right.
It's a really good one.
Right.
Just walk
So
away.
this is not easy. We're working on it.
This is what you do with the bully. There's a like, someone told me to get like sensory balls or like, I don't know. It's just a personality.
I said you can be rough and tough.
Yeah.
It's not only a personality, it's also an age.
Or some people not aware,
Yeah,
like
they
some
go
kids
out
are
and-
not aware of what they're doing, like
Yeah.
socially, like they don't realize they're being too rough.
Yeah, they don't.
Right, so I'll just say, you're such a fun kid. You're gonna learn how to be more gentle. You're gonna have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Maybe
I also,
physically
I
direct
also
them.
tell him, and also my kids,
Yeah.
when they say bad words, like stupid or shut
Right.
up, I don't even know what it means.
Good.
They hear it from the bus.
Good.
Idiot, shut up, stupid. So I tell them, you know, whatever you say comes back to you. Cause like we learn.
Whatever you
like,
say
like,
comes-
like,
right.
Lashon Hara, whatever you say, it comes
Right.
back to you, like your mitzvahs go to them and their.
I'll say,
mitzvahs
look,
come to you.
right, I also, we say funny words, and we could say monkey face or bananas, or like they make up like other words, like if they get upset.
Or like I say, we have a mezuzah in our door.
Gorgeous.
Your mouth is kadosh. How could you
Gorgeous.
say that? Sometimes they'll imitate me back. Your mouth is kadosh.
So, gorgeous. Yeah, right. I say, you're right, it
Like,
is.
stop saying that.
You want to say, well, when they're saying idiot, what do they want to say?
They're just annoyed. They'll just say idiot. I'm like, do you know what that means? They're like, no.
So it sounds like you want something that you're not getting. You can say it in a kadosh way.
Yeah.
You're upset, mommy, I'm very upset. You can say it for them. The kids will say a bad word, say, mommy, I'm really disappointed. There was only one piece left and I wanted it and he ate it. I'm mad. I know, it's so hard not to get what you want.
This is a little bit off topic,
Yeah.
I was talking about language. So my daughter said like the A word,
Yep.
but it was like the 3-letter word.
Okay.
right? And she's like, what does that mean? She didn't say it to anybody. She said, Mommy, what's the word? And me and my husband like froze in the room. She heard it.
Right,
So I said, it could mean 2 things. And because I didn't want her to go around in school saying the word. So I felt like I needed to tell her. So I said, one, people refer to it as a donkey, but that's like a very old, weird way of saying it. And then I'm like, and then the other word is really bad.
yeah.
So I'm like, we don't say that
Nivelpeh.
word.
It's nivelpeh. We don't say that word, but I'm so happy that you asked me, Mama.
Okay, so
I'm
just,
so glad that you asked me. Yeah, that's nivelpeh. It's a dirty word. And yeah, so that's the last time in your life that's coming out of your mouth. But I'm happy that you asked.
Do you know one time you said that someone called your son fat and you
Right.
said you're skinny, let's go play?
Yeah,
And you're not, like, or whatever. So I told my son, like, whoever says anything mean to you, say the opposite,
Good.
the opposite trick.
good.
And say, let's just play
It's called the opposite trick.
the opposite trick.
I love it.
And he likes it.
Right.
So he uses it.
Adorable. It's the same
Like,
idea, right?
"Mom, you're so smart, let's play.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you like that?
What is it?
And she calls it the opposite trick.
Like whenever someone's like, even you guys, if someone bothers you, like says, you don't know how to cook, say, and you're the best cook. Like,
Right.
I just do the opposite.
Yeah, can I come for supper?
Can I come for supper?
Yeah, you're the best cook. Can I come eat for you? Yeah, I love it. It's called the opposite trick, but it's the, it's I feel the kids are tougher today. They're less sensitive than they used to be.
Really?
That's what I find. Maybe it's
Yeah,
just,
but that wouldn't work if like someone calls you fat like an adult and then you're like, you're so skinny.
You're so fit.
And then they're fat.
So you can just say it.
Like, that just makes two of us. Somebody wants me to ask you a question.
Yes.
She's texting, okay. She said, what's an appropriate, it's off topic, what's an appropriate age for 11-year-old young lady to begin grooming herself? Eyebrows, shaving, or waxing legs?
it's
If it
so,
visibly bothers her, my fear is that she will think she's more mature than her biological age, but many of the girls in her surroundings
right.
have begun doing it. Will that make her grow up too quickly? If it's too early, what age is appropriate?
So I want you to know this is super cultural. And it, like, a girl at 17, right, that didn't pick that up, I'm concerned about her, right? But a girl at 17, I want a girl at 17 that didn't pick up this, like, to do like that kind of thing, I would worry about her. But an 11-year-old girl that says that she wants to, that means that she's uncomfortable with it. I wouldn't educate a child at that age, or if they're coming to ask for it, then I would do whatever they're asking, not more. Just like I spoke about giving kids information, it's always just what they're asking for, not more. And also with grooming like that, I wouldn't, if the kid is 17 and she doesn't want to wear a pair of high heels, I would maybe encourage it. But but you at 11 years old, what they're asking for, as long as it's socially acceptable, they can do it. I don't think it's too young. The girls today are,
She's scared she's gonna look like older, like womanly. Like
the
she's-
girls today are so young, they're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't push it, but if the kid is asking, I would do only what the kid is asking. And when they ask, by the way, it might be very exciting the first time, then after they get tired. Don't push it again.
Okay.
Because of all of the hormones in the food that we eat, our girls are developing very young. It's just what's going on. And that's why the girls at that age are asking for it. It's part of development. I wouldn't stop it.
Is there anything left of this class? Because I wanted to ask.
Yes,
Another off
yes,
topic.
yes.
Okay, so this is really off topic. Like, I'm noticing in the world a lot today, it's like eating healthy, not eating healthy, vaccinate, not vaccinate, wear mask, not wear mask. Like a lot of like, should we, like, could you think like, okay, I'll vaccinate and it'll just be water and I'll live healthily until 120, or I won't vaccinate and I'll be 100, I'll be healthy until 120. Like, should
I want
think
you to
like
know
that?
one
Like, where's
thing.
the emuna in
I
that?
want you to
Like,
know one thing.
Yeah.
I always say this, my husband, when it was in China and we all thought it was a joke, we were doing the soaping and the distancing because that's what my husband wanted and I respected it, even though I thought it was really funny. And he got hit in the worst way possible and he died fast. So therefore, I know for sure that vaccines do not kill people and they do not heal people. Eating healthy even does not kill somebody. And it does not make sense. But we all are responsible to do hishtadlos, right? We say, whatever happened until today, we have a emunah, that's exactly what was meant to happen. Whatever will happen, we have bitachon, that it will be okay. Today, this minute, we do something called hishtadlos. You want to vaccinate 4 times? You want to wear 8 masks? You want to be 15 feet apart? If you think that will not keep you alive or kill you. Because we know a lot of people that got doubly vaccinated and we're very, very sick now with COVID. So the vaccines do not keep people alive. They also do not kill people. I find that this has been such a big test, the questions that come to my table, like my mother-in-law is crying that I'm killing her grandkids, I'm not vaccinating them. My mother is saying, I can't sleep at night, promise me you're not vaccinating. What am I supposed to do?
I mean, like in general in life, like where do we, it's like, I don't know, when you walk down the street, you look both ways before you cross.
Good,
That's your
except there
child.
can be a drunken driver that will hit you anyway.
Exactly.
But
So
you
it's
still
like-
have to look.
You still have to look. So what?
Like you put car seat, you put a car seat on
But
your
when you're
hands.
doing like 8, when they're doing like 4 times the amount of masks and like double, like at some point you're thinking that the mask is gonna save your life. Like, that's really, we can do a stylus as long as we know that it's a stylus, and then when something happens,
But it's also like when you take something too far,
yeah,
you don't realize that you're creating another problem.
yes,
you
a
know?
bigger
It's like-
problem.
So it's like,
It's like,
where's the
okay, now you're
balance
afraid
in
to,
life
like-
in general, how to keep a balance.
So if your kid wants to have a cup of soda and you're
Right.
so anti-soda.
I'm so anti.
With your view, it's kind of like, just let them have it.
Because I also am like what she's saying, I have the perspective that if I don't give them the soda, I might be creating a lot of other dangerous problems.
So just let them have it.
If the soda's here, I don't know if I buy a case of soda in the house, deliver it to the house once a week. But if the soda is there, and I say, don't drink soda, don't drink the soda, right?
You're gonna be like closet soda drinkers.
They're gonna be closet soda
Yeah.
drinkers, right? And they'll drink 4 times the amount of soda. You know, I sit in OA meetings for 18 years, like 3 meetings a week. And I have every adult that gets Overeaters Anonymous, you know what that is? So you have every adult there that will say, I was an anorexic bulimic because my parents kept so much junk in the house, they never taught us how to eat normally. An hour later, the next one gets up and says, I'm an anorexic bulimic because we were never allowed to have anything, any garbage in the house. And the answer is, I'm an anorexic bulimic because that's what Hashem wanted from me. And I don't think that we have control like over it. My workshop on nutrition, it's like, I was so much more careful with my older ones. And with my younger ones, I'm so much less careful. But I believe that they're gonna figure it out on their
You mean
own,
less careful, like you're more relaxed,
much more relaxed.
and it's better that way.
I don't know.
It's their journey.
It's their journey. I really can't be in charge of it. I don't know. I just try that like, okay, the cup of soda, how much you give them is not gonna really fix or create the problem. Again, if you're drinking 2 bottles of soda every night, that's what I would work on. Yeah,
What would you do with a child, with a toddler who starts screaming and lying and or like, I didn't do it, I did it.
I want to finish your question about the balance.
Yeah.
I think that having confidence is much more important than having balance. You're not asking me about balance, you're asking me about confidence.
Just making your choice, decision and
I'm
stick to it.
sticking to it. I say, this is my stylus, I want to be healthy.
Like my son is supposed to have surgery, but I'm like, maybe I should do the homeopathic path. Maybe he doesn't need surgery. Like,
Right,
what's the
good.
balance
And I want you to know that if you have Amuna,
that way?
that they can both work. So try one and do it all the way.
Okay.
I just want to tell you that I do have a huge sense of peace around my husband's death because he ate very healthy. He exercised all the time. He did great stress management. He was careful with the hand washing. So there's a certain sense of peace that I have. A lot of the women, you know, they're like really like upset, like he died and he didn't do the hairstyle. So doing our part just gives us a nice feeling that we're doing our part. It is a big part of it, but it's not the whole thing. It's much more about saying, I did enough. Like, now let's leave the rest up to Hashem. Now you ask me and then I'm gonna go.
A toddler who lies and blames. What do you
Give
do?
me an example. A toddler is lying and
He put a
blaming.
toy at his brother's head, and he's like, oh, she did it. She wasn't even there. And there's a big bump on the baby's head. What do you do? Oh, I know you did it.
Yeah. I don't even ask. Don't ask who did it.
Right, right.
Like, what happens if the kid's face is full of chocolate? Like, I didn't have any chocolate, right?
Mhm.
So then, so I'll just say, we don't take chocolate without, right? You love chocolate. We don't take chocolate without permission. I didn't take any. And I'll just say, you need to say the truth. It's not the MS, it's not the truth. You need to say the truth. A toddler doesn't know so much about truth. They're lying because you're asking them, what happened?
So I didn't ask.
No?
No.
He comes in and he's like, she did it. And I'll say,
And then
that's
she's
not,
like, he did it. I'm like, who did it?
or don't ask who did it.
Right.
I'll
I mean,
just-
in my head, I didn't say, I knew.
Right.
I like for the view, I'm like, no, I'm gonna ask no rhetorical questions, no like.
Good. And there's a big bump. He says, see, she did it. I'll just say, we don't make boo-boos. You need to be careful. No.
Okay.
And then smart toddlers lie. Only dumb ones say the truth. Why would you say the truth?
Just constantly like, would you say that, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
There's also books, the book with the line.
Eleanor's little white lie.
Yeah.
Does it ever keep you back from lying?
No.
It's a very cute book. The idea that the more you lie, the more you, but not a toddler is too little.
Can you ask your child, like, let's say a 5-year-old, are you telling me the truth? Like,
I'd rather say I know that you're not telling me.
No,
the
but
truth.
I like, I literally don't.
If a kid has a lying issue, they will lie every day a lot. No. So just wait until you can catch them when you know for sure.
No, like, I just really want to find out, like, if something happened, and like, I'm asking them, and he's like, no, I'm like, are you really telling me the truth? Like, not because I just
I
know.
would rather, I would rather just wait for the time. I'll say, this roll book is your Rebbe's. You need to give it back. Oh, no, it's mine. He gave it to me yesterday. I want a guy roll. And I'm like, Tate, this is your Rebbe's roll book. You must say the truth. Tomorrow you have to give it back.
What if he's saying?
I call the Rebbe and I check before I ask.
Somebody asked whether to shoot with it.
The truth is, right, I didn't do it because it's so not, I have it in the notes, because I just feel like it's not so okay anymore. I'll just read it, I'll check it in the notes, like, you ask the child, you teach them. I'll show you. Yes. I'm gonna do that the next time, because I want to do it thoroughly, okay, yes. To trigger you.